Alright, guys, I'm back. Saturday, December 7th, 2024. It is getting closer to Christmas and New Year's, and my semester ending very soon, next week, that is. My update with me, I've been getting a treatment called ECT. I don't know what it stands for exactly. Electronic convulsive therapy or whatever it's called, where they hook you up with little things that stick on your skin, and then they do anesthesia on you and make you sleep. Then they shock you, basically. And this is to ward off depression and schizophrenia, something like that. So I've been getting that treatment here in Edward Hines Jr. VA. What else is there? Yes, and I started finally, it took a long time, guys, but I finally began my journey with ASMR. So it's gonna be hopefully soon that, be part of the big ASMR community and make collabs and do all kinds of fun stuff together. And hopefully my channel grows. And then the idea is basically not just for the subscribers and the comments and all those kind of nice things that come along with ASMR and the fans and all that stuff, but I want to since then I'll have a much bigger of a voice, to the people on YouTube at least, or social media more at least, because of joining the ASMR community, if that makes sense, and then talk about mind control, TI related stuff, and get feedback and kind of aware the people that never heard of it, And so I thought that was a great idea. All I need to do is continue my consistencies and work. I might have to make tags and whatnot on YouTube, because I haven't done that. I just thought as long as you have a title basically that's, eye-catching, then it's good enough, I thought. But I don't know, I may be wrong. So on ChatGPT, it does say you need to have a description at least, along with a title. But I don't know if you really need a description, if they can just type in your title or something close to it and it just pops up anyway, So I don't know, I'm new to YouTube basically, with the blogging and all these fun stuff to share with the world. So anyways, you might ask, why is Daniel, blogging, and talking about his life story, regarding target individuals this, or ASMR that, or school this, or job that, and church this, and so much more, So I will answer you right now. Why do I do that? Because I grew up writing journals. What do you call it? What do you call that? Every day you have like a page of what you went through the day, basically. It's called journaling, or what's it called? I can't remember the exact term at the moment for some reason. But I used to do that when I was a kid because my dad forced us to do it, basically, where you write down your days, how your day went, and whatever, basically, regarding that specific day. And so it's called ilgi in Korean. I don't know what it's called in American at the moment, or English, or whatever, But anyways, that's what I grew up doing. And then I enjoy, like I said, I enjoy people, I enjoy talking, and I enjoy the fact that YouTube has subscribers, comments, likes, and competitiveness, and you can actually make money from ad revenue and all that kind of fun stuff, that comes with all these things on top of all that stuff, Therefore I, enjoy talking a lot more. That's why I wish I had a job like Mr. Beast, or, some kind of famous TV person, where you talk in front of a camera and around a lot of people, or not, but camera at least, that's, for the national television or people, and in the public, if that makes sense. That's what I would love to do, honestly. something where you utilize your brain, where you just look at the camera. I need to work with looking at the camera because I find it very still weird for some reason. Not all of a sudden because I'm a TI, maybe because of it too, but I just, it feels really uncomfortable looking at the camera and then talking basically for some reason. So anyways, yes, that's what I would possibly love. I don't know if I may love that job or not. Those kind of TV persons or whatnot. I have no idea because I've never done it before. But in my mind, as a YouTuber, at least YouTube is much different to TV people. But how do I explain it? It's still somewhat similar. You're in front of a camera, and then you host in front of a lot of views, depending on your viewers and whatnot, the followings you have and whatnot. And so it's like, it's like being paid to be on television and talk about hot topics or current events and stuff like that, or TV stuff, or Jeopardy, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or Deal or No Deal, or whatever, those kind of fun games, or even being a judge, for, what do you call it, America's Got Talent and stuff like that, those kind of fun stuff where you're just there basically, and you watch awesome people that practice a lot and everything to be in front of the judges, and then you judge them based on how they perform, obviously, and then you get paid for that, and you get famous for that on top of that, so it's kind of it's pretty cool, I would say. That's just how I think. But yeah, reality is I'm just a side YouTuber guy for the time being, when I'm kind of, needing a time off from schoolwork and just want to kind of work on this kind of side projects, I suppose, ASMR and Gangstalking and such. But yeah, my goal is to be a librarian, like I've said, because of who I am as a TI. Otherwise, I would otherwise I would not do it, because it just doesn't seem that fun to me, I don't know much about librarians, so I can't really say much, but from just common sense says, you go to a library, it's all quiet with books everywhere, and there's a computer systems and tables and whatnot, and you basically sit there all day while the people, check out books or ask you questions and stuff. That kind of job doesn't really seem that fun for me, But it's apparently one of the best jobs for being a TI that who I am, this target individual business. For the people that don't know, just visit targetedjustice.com. I'm not going to explain it every time, it's just too much. Nor do I even get the views or the motivation for the views for even being that much. I don't have any views or anything. So I don't want to keep mentioning or explaining every little thing. If you guys are curious, just visit targetedjustice.com. That's where doctors, federal agents talk about this heinous criminal activity here in the U.S. and the world, basically, done by their actual, their nations, their own nations their governments doing that to them, or corporations or whatever it may be, All right, so anyways, guys, yeah, ASMR was fun. What did I do? Bible reading, a book of Psalms, a few chapters, or many chapters, I guess, 5 minutes increments, 3 of them, which was 15 minutes total. Plugging negative energy, haircut, ASMR, tapping, another tapping, ASMR, cranial nerve exam. And so I think those are basically it, I think. I think I covered it all. Those are the videos that I made all in one day. I know it's not that long, because if you do the math, like the videos are average 5 minutes, and there's like 8 of them. There's like 40 minutes, like a 1 long video basically, for some ASMR artists that do 40 minutes or longer, So it's not too much now thinking about it. I was like, man, I'm doing a lot in one day, but realize it's not that much. I mean, it depends if you plan on doing, that every time kind of thing, like 40 minutes of it each time, which isn't much, but for the individual, I don't know, it made sense to my brain earlier, but now it doesn't for some reason. Anyways, yeah, so, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna mention it. That'd just be silly. I don't think I want to mention what school I go to yet. I mean, I have one more year, and I got suspended for 3 years in community college back then because of gang stalking activity in Northern Virginia Community College and the campus in Virginia. So the story is, I was getting ready, preparing for a math exam in a tutoring center, and then there was a black guy that was teaching, and then he was teaching the math section, and I just talked to them about the gang stalking stuff. I was like, do you also witness people blinking their eyes or stuff like that, That is not normal back then. That was not like that back then. And all of a sudden I started witnessing that all the time, like on TV, news anchors or whatever they're called, news reporters and such, And nobody bats an eye. Nobody says anything, which is very crazy, So I was thinking at one point, I was like, is my mind just that controlled, Am I the only one seeing that and everybody else not? Or is everybody controlled and I am seeing the truth while everybody else is not seeing the truth? If that kind of makes sense, because this stuff is just brain hacking, It's not that hard to believe, and that it's just been, constantly ignored. So the technology has been improving every time, each and every time, and so it shouldn't be that hard to believe it, is what I'm saying. And so anyways, so in the tutoring center, I asked him, and then soon we're just studying and blah, blah, blah for math. And then 2 police officers arrive, and they said, Mr. Kim, you have to leave. I'm like, leave where? Leave what? For what reason, And they said, I understand, we understand, but you have to leave. You can't be here. I'm like, I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm not causing no problems or anything. And the thing was, I remember the police officers were asking the tutor if I was making any, problem in school, if I was making any, kind of, how do you explain it? Being wild or too loud or something like that, you know what I mean? Not behaving accordingly. And then, the tutor obviously said I wasn't doing anything wrong. And then even still then, that's the weird part. Even after that kind of statement was made, they told me I still had to leave. So I finally left. I said, you know what, whatever, I don't have time for this. I'm too stressed out. I don't want to, I just wanted to just punch them in the face, honestly. It was just so fucking aggravating, that kind of situation, I'm there to study. I'm not there to party or do anything. And these scumbags are there. Granted, they're just doing their jobs, possibly, Somebody told them to come and get me, basically. If that might be the truth, that is. Because I don't know that, We don't know that. Because I heard that police officers are equally as evil as in gang stalking, So I don't know who's in the wrong there, but you get my point there now, And so anyways, I get out, and then basically a few weeks or something, they're telling me I have a conference or something with the school dean or something like that, with the school people, the faculty or whatever they're called, And so I'm like, what's this about? And then so I attend while I was really mentally unhealthy. I couldn't form normal sentences like I am right now, I couldn't think at all. It was just, I was just gone, basically. My health was so bad. And then so I go to the meeting, the tutor was there, and some random white guy that I've never seen in my life was there. And also bunch of faculty people or school people. And they had a recording thing in the middle of the table for when we were talking, basically, and they're recording us, for evidence, I guess, which is kind of odd without a lawyer present or anything, possibly, So anyways, that's what happened. And then the black tutor guy, he makes a bunch of accusations and lies basically, saying that I was causing problems or something, when he told us to the police back then that I wasn't causing any problems. See, he says one thing then another, and those two police officers heard that, you know. So if we were to, what do you call that? So what do we call that in yeah, I got a little bit loud, I think. I don't know why there's so many students here on Saturday though, honestly. It's kind of odd. But hopefully this should be nicer here. I don't know why they aren't in the library though, when the library is right there and it's quieter obviously, which is why I'm video recording out here. But so as I was saying, the what do you call it? Yes, if the police officers were called in the court of law, what is it called when you have to bring somebody, you know, to court? I forgot what the vocabulary is called, but or the terminology is called. I remember doing that one time back in court, back in Virginia, when I brought somebody because I thought somebody was, you know, tampering with my house that I bought back then. But anyways, yes, if they called the cops and the cops came in and then the people were to ask while the tape was recording that, you know, if Mr. Kim was behaving, you know, badly or not, and then they'd be the witnesses, you know, because they said that guy said that I wasn't causing any problems, and then all of a sudden I am causing problems, you know. It's contradictive, obviously, and it shows that, you know, something's up here. But anyways, that's what happened without the cops, sadly, possibly sadly, because I don't know. I honestly don't know what would have happened. You know, this stuff can go deeper, you know. These scumbags could go deeper and, you know, plan things out and lie and make a bunch of lies more. I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's so loud here. Criminy. Excuse my French. It's kind of annoyed. So anyways, that's what happened. Thank God my phone didn't stop recording because I have 20%. Normally when that happens, it normally stops the recording. But anyways, that's what happened. And then the white guy that I've never seen before, he is making the worst kind of accusations and lying through his teeth, saying that he's never seen any student like me before, you know, causing these kind of problems and so on, and all kinds of stuff. And if it was me right now, I would have blew up, honestly. I would have possibly raged at him because that kind of absurd lies, you know. Either that or I would have been smooth and I would have just been like, no, that's not who I am, you know, and prove it, obviously. So I'm showing that previous semester I got straight A's for the first time in my academic career, in my entirety of 20-some years that I went to a community college, you know. You know, I never gotten straight A's before, and that's the first time in my life that I got straight A's following the suspension, basically. So the suspension, basically, what I'm trying to say is, so after the conference, the talk that happened and the recordings and all that, I wasn't able to defend myself, nor was there anybody to represent me. Clearly, when they were stating that I was a schizophrenic, you know, if you're a schizophrenic and because of your mental illness, why is there nobody representing you in school when you're going through something serious like this, you know? And it happens to be 3 years of suspension is what happened to me. 3 years over what? Behaving kind of out of place, you know? That's like the craziest thing I've ever heard, you know? In school, you don't, like, I've never heard that before. And nor do I even hear anybody ever getting suspended too, you know? But this is what happened to me in my life. I got suspended for 3 years. 3 years over nothing. Over going to a tutoring center and being stalked by cops and lied by tutors and such eventually. You know? So anyways, finally it quieted down. Dang, I was getting irritated due to my PTSD a little bit. But anyways, so yeah, just many thoughts bouncing off right now. Well, so what were we talking about? School suspension and how wrong it was, obviously. Oh yeah, and everything is recorded, as in that evidence should be still there, possibly in that school, in that community college, possibly, unless they threw it away, which will be kind of odd. I don't see why they recorded it in the first place if they threw it away again already. Maybe I don't know how they, keep it. I don't know how they have it in storage or whatever you call it. So, anyways, what else is there? Yeah, I'm kind of losing train of thought here, but hopefully I don't make this video too long for the people that enjoy my blogs and my life stories and experiences that I went through, which some of them have been really just painful to hear, and like, how can this be real kind of remark, you know? But this is it, man. This is it, people. This is what I went through. I'm not lying, and there's evidence out there. You know, I contacted the lawyer regarding me getting suspended and trying to, sue the school for them defaming me, basically. Defamation, I think is what it's called. Lying about me and then causing, injury to my status in school as a student and causing further problems, basically, to me. But due to the statute of limitations, I couldn't sue the school, basically. They said even with the schizophrenia diagnosis that you have, it still doesn't matter in the state of Virginia, which was kind of retarded, honestly. They're like, oh, you can't sue the school because the statute of limitations that says, in a year or something, you can't sue the school anymore. And so I'm like, even when you're thinking logically here, even if you're a disabled person with schizophrenia, which is one of the worst, like, mental illness, in my opinion, like, as a person with schizophrenia / TI mind control, like, how in the hell is the laws like this, How in the hell are the laws like this? It's just kind of odd, Anyways, bouncing off of more topics, my throat is burning. I don't know what's going on, acid reflux or something. It keeps happening recently. I don't know what's the deal with that. But anyways, yeah, I was thinking one time, not one time, but several times. I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? I'm not no Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast, or Logan Paul or Jake Paul, or Speed, I Show Speed, or those kind of guys that are big on YouTube and make like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, more than doctors, basically, So, since reality is that I'm not that kind of, content creator or person with that kind of fame, I meant that I was thinking all kinds of stuff. I was like, a librarian, that's like the backup for me, because, as in, like, I'm gonna become a librarian, but I want to do YouTube on the side and stuff like that, and I was thinking, like, okay, what else could I do instead of being a librarian, possibly back then, at least. Now I for sure want to be a librarian because I'm kind of don't have too many choices to make from, unless I make it big on YouTube, which could happen. Who knows? Like Jimmy Donaldson, he never knew he was gonna be that big he'd be the biggest guy on YouTube. It just happens to people, and you just gotta target the right audience and have the YouTube views and subscribers and comments and likes and all that. It just by looking at the age and demographics and all that kind of stuff and what needs to be tweaked and whatnot, it shouldn't be too much work, for that kind of basic things to be settled and whatever else possibly that needs to be settled to get more increase by sharing your channel on different platforms, social media like Twitter or Instagram, or what is it called? X, I meant. Not Twitter anymore. It's called X, I think. And many other social media stuff, Facebook as well, obviously. Stuff like that. And then, if you're actually good at talking in front of people, this was my idea years ago this is how much I wanted to become a YouTuber back then too. And weirdly, I think this is just straight up mind control, but weirdly, my younger brother, he wanted to be a YouTuber, and I told him, don't be a YouTuber, get a degree, then you can make stable income, YouTuber, you might not be a Jimmy Donaldson or anything like that, anything close to that too, possibly, because those guys are literally the number ones on YouTube, making almost $1 billion or whatever, kind of money. Not just from only YouTube, but YouTube helping that much, obviously, if that makes sense. And so I told my little bro this, and I was like, and then he became an RN now. He's an RN. He works at a hospital. But now I want to be a YouTuber. It's very weird. When I told him, I was like, don't be a YouTuber. It's not safe, It's not, it's not every time you're going to get paid, you might have those days that you might not make money or anything like that, possibly. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not a stable income, unless you have the followings, unless and you post, which will be your full time, so you will be posting every week or so. But even then, it's just more risky versus having a degree and then getting a job, basically. It's just my opinion. I think it's facts possibly, but who knows? And so anyways, now I want to be a YouTuber, and this is what I want to do. So anyways, librarian is the main backup for me. And for the people that didn't know about this, just look up I utilize ChatGPT a lot. I already talked about this back then. But if you are a TI like us, or if you have schizophrenia, if you look up on ChatGPT, it'll tell you what jobs are the best for people like us, And then it says librarian. So if you are a schizophrenic like me, or a gangstalking victim like me, look up librarians. It's not super easy because you still need a master's degree, but I'm sure the classes are not as heavy like, calculus kind of classes, up to like Calc 3 at least, you get what I mean? Or like physics, I don't know, those, it's not super hard, but the foundations and everything prior to calculus, for example, that I experienced, like Calc 3, you need to do well in Calc 2 and Calc 1 and pre-calc and trigonometry and all that stuff, So it's not, you got to know what you're doing, basically, is what I got out of it. Anyways, so my other job that I was thinking a lot of was to become a police officer, because I was in the Army. I was in the Army active duty in Fort Hood, Texas, whatever it's called now, but it used to be called Fort Hood, Texas back when I was in 2011 and 2012. And Texas, Killeen and Temple and Austin and Dallas and San Antonio and all that stuff in Texas. But what else? What else was I saying? Darn. Yes, to become a police officer because we already in the army. This is my guess, but the military is tougher than the police. Is my guess, honestly, because we have to like work out all the time. Work out more than the police officers is my guess. As a civilian or whatever you call it, you know. How do I say that? Versus, you know, what police wears and whatnot, you know, police officers wears and whatever, you know. So, yeah, that's just my guess that military is tougher, and you go on deployments and such, you know, overseas, and you stay there for up to a year at times and such. So it's not that easy, you know. So, away from family most of the time, a lot of times I meant, and the list goes on. And the pay is similar to police in a sense, but it's still not that great, honestly. But then, so I was like, okay, I'm used to this kind of lifestyle, being commanded by the higher ranks. Chain of command is what it's called, you know, people above you that tell you what to do, basically. And then, you know, you just follow the unit. The unit's leader, basically. It could be a sergeant or whatever it may be, or a lieutenant or whatever. And they tell you how to basically put your clothes on and brush your teeth at night and morning, and, you know, to eat a healthy breakfast, if that kind of makes sense. All these things that, like, as if they're your mom or dad or personal trainers combo, you know? So I was like, I'm used to that kind of lifestyle back in the army. So I was like, why then? How come? Not how come I meant. So I was thinking about doing it, but then they told me, oh, if you have schizophrenia or mind control victim like I am, we cannot become a cop. They do like a testing for, what do you call it? I forgot what it's called. The mind, you know, the mind exams or whatever, psychological exams, basically. I think it's that. And then they see that you're not safe. You know, you're not, you know, you're not well put to do these tasks, basically. And so, you know, when I went on Google, and then like one thing called Kura or whatever it's called, or and many other people, including my professor, basically said being a cop you cannot be. Well, my professor didn't tell me that you can't be a cop, but I'm pretty sure you can't. It's much difficult, if not going to happen, basically. What he did tell me was he did say, because I wanted to also be a probation officer, because I actually been to jail, basically, and I had a probation officer, whatever, the parole officer, probation officer, whatever they're called, and when they check up on you and once a week or something to see how you're doing and you're staying out of trouble and whatnot, that kind of stuff. So I thought, you know, that job seemed pretty easy, you know, same as, easier than cops in my opinion, because cops, you have to, police that is, you have to, you know, be outdoors in the heat and such, and like in traffic and such, and there are crazy people all over the world, you know, that may, you know, run you over or kill you or something, or that, or really hurt you, you know, because of their mental reasonings, or they're just kind of psychotic or just crazy, basically. And so anyways, yes, my professor and I had a talk. I informed him about mind control weapons. He just basically just heard what I said, didn't really have too much of an opinion regarding it. And then he said, then he basically said, you know, it's like nearly impossible to become a probation officer with schizophrenia. So I said, oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that, you know. I mean, I did kind of know it because I was obviously looking up these information online, but if that kind of makes sense. And so anyways, that's where I'm at with the school thing suspension. Got no justice out of it because of statute of limitation bullshit. The other one was and excuse my language, I just say things because of torment, basically. Otherwise, I would not, I would watch what I say most all the time. I meant this mind control crap. It makes you irritated more, and they torture you more if you don't behave the way they want you to. So most things like homicide and suicide and all those kind of crazy extremes, obviously I don't do, if that obviously makes sense. But like stuff like, swearing, like saying bad words, it just happens, it's just much tougher for me to control every little thing. And I believe it. I mean, I believe that God will, stop it. But, I'm just kind of broken. I'm just tired. I'm repairing. Don't get me wrong, from the hospital and VA hospital and so on. But it is taking some time. All right, because this ECT, this shock therapy thing is also just tiresome and just, I don't know. That's just how I feel when I get it done. I mean, I do feel good when I get it done, but I feel tired eventually and feel depressed and such. So anyways, it's a long video. Hopefully I make ASMR videos this long. It's not even too long a video because I've seen like 3-hour videos that ASMR artists post. I don't know how they do it that long, honestly. I don't know. That's just my opinion. So we talked about police. We talked about military. We talked about school suspension, Nova, Virginia. What else was there? ASMR, Mr. Beast, my little bro, and so on. Alright, so this is my video for today. Hopefully I can now finally go and do some homework or studies, basically, as I've been YouTubing this whole time. I do have plenty of time, honestly. I have until 4, and I don't think it's going to take 4 hours, not even 3 hours, maybe a good hour or 2. Should be plenty enough to get my assignments, studied for the day, I think. So anyways, make sure you guys, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe. If you have anything you want me to talk about, let me know through the comments. I might, talk about it. I'm pretty much of an open book once you get to know me, kind of thing. I don't really have too much to hide or anything, honestly, to hide, that is. And so I enjoy sharing my life with others, and how we can get better from the things we went through and so on and so forth. Yeah, I went to jail, mental hospital, and army. Yeah, I did it all, basically, I would say. It's crazy. Never thought, a little video gamer that played RuneScape, for the people that know RuneScape, .com, the MMORPG from made by Jagex. The the UK video game. Never would have thought, that kid that was good at math would, join the U.S. Army of all things, active duty in third corps, whatever we call it, 3 corps, 3rd corps, and in Texas, the biggest branch, or the biggest base, I meant, in the army. And I happened to coincidentally be there. And then another coincidence, when a shooting happened, Major Hussein, I think it was his name. It said that apparently he went to Virginia Tech too, which is the same state that I'm from, Virginia, where the Virginia Tech killer was from as well. That, killed 33 people, including himself, and then died. But if I wasn't hallucinating, that's what it said, Major Hussein. But I honestly thought, what I remembered was he was from the same time that I was in, but then it said that it wasn't. It said he was in the army before me or something, because I honestly, remembered, I thought. But I don't know, this mind control crap and stuff I meant is just too wild at times. Literally, at one point in South Korea, in a mountain that I was in, it literally made my vision all gray, like, pixel gray, like on a video game or something. When you turn the TV on, the static is there, kind of thing, or the gray thing. When you have like a Nintendo, what do you call it? Nintendo video game. You gotta blow into that little thing, and then you push it in, and then it works sometimes. But it doesn't work, and it's all gray in the screen, something like that. That's how I literally saw it, And I wasn't even scared. I was just kind of like, I wonder what's gonna happen. I wasn't scared though, is what I remember. It's just like, what would you do? It's not really that scary, thankfully. It's like, oh God, you might be blind, or you might be going blind, possibly, right? Because it's your vision. But it's like, oh, you being scared is not going to fix the problem, But it's a normal emotion to feel, I understand that. But for me, I just wasn't scared. The thing that actually scared me in Korea was when I was in the mountain in Namangju, and this little, like, grasshopper, not praying mantis or something, or grasshopper, lands right in front of me, like, almost arm's reach, but more than arm's reach. And then just stares right into my soul, literally, like into my eyes, into my soul. And I got scared crapless. I was like, the hell? I was mentally gone at the same time, but I never thought, grasshoppers that I ate in Korea, like popcorn basically, would scare me, But those are some experiences that I went through, some Nazi bullshit, honestly. I really wonder why me. Like, why me? I am not that special, Nor am I built to be some special forces guy. I have done the army thing. Granted, I did it at 5'8", 100 pounds, so it's kind of impressive, I suppose. A kid that plays video games and looks at porno all the time and has no life, kind of thing, To have made it through the active duty, not just reserves, but active duty, where you're a soldier 24/7, 365 kind of thing, So it's impressive in my understanding, but still, not really like special forces, Green Berets, or those kind of top, kind of experts, professionals, I meant. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm about to sign out. Alright, goodbye.